thinking that I have all the powers. I can instruct any person to go and kill any person or to go and do anything they would want to do. But then I would want to have an ombudsman who will be the mediator between the citizens and the most powerful. So if you investigate the president and you hold the president to account, definitely you will then face such, well, that's why I'm sitting here. And whereas you find the media, which is also not helping because it's a key strategic partner of the public protector, which in any democracy, they should be the ones who are the voice and who are also helping to address issues of corruption, issues of maladministration. But then you find that they are the ones who are then magnifying the mistakes which we do and mistakes which are trying to show that the facts before us and the evidence is the violation of this particular legislation or of the constitution. So the similar thing which happened is that with this investigation of Busasa, I'm sitting here is part of the charges in this hearing because of what I investigated. So I'm facing the consequences or the wrath of what Chief Justice Mkhwebane said. Now, with the issue of the Phala Phala, sending those 31 questions led me to be suspended a day before even the court was supposed to pronounce on the judgment. But at the end of the day is that these are the repercussions of investigating the powerful. That's why that arm of the state, which is the executive, is at the core of my challenges as the public protector. My predecessor faced the similar issues, but it was better with her because she never reached a stage where she's sitting here and being subjected to impeachment. Because, I mean, you also tried to show her that the very same, some members who are here, they were calling you names, they were vilifying you, they labeled you a spy and all those. It's because we investigate the most powerful, the owners of media industries, and capital who don't want to account. And as a country, we're dealing with corruption because there's a corrupter and a corruptee. And who corrupts and who create all the challenges is those who have the resources and the means to have the resources. Unfortunately, with me is that then you find we'll still deal with it. Then the another arm where I'm taken to court and there are judgments which are issued, like what we dealt with now, the code and the very same issue of the CR17, where the facts are not correct. The facts are wrong and the judgment is out there. Just because it's a judgment, yes, we respect the judiciary, yes, the outcome, but the fact of the matter is now this process, that's why I said I'm so happy to sit here, take the public, because at least they would also want to know exactly why are you being persecuted, or, you label this person who doesn't know the law. But I'm just now with this Busasa issue. Here's evidence before court. This is what we considered. We came to a conclusion that there's a violation of this law, the Executive Members Ethics Act, the Constitution. And that's all what we did. So I think those are the main causes of me sitting here and now being on suspension because of Phala Phala and the 31 questions.
Yes. And I think that, yes, thank you very much for that answer. In other words, forget, you can change the players and the public protector and the president and this and the other. But given the powers that are bestowed on that office, is there any difference really between what you are going through, as you say, and what happened in the Kandla business? And I'm saying that in relation to, we know the obvious similarities. Both matters involved the trilogy that we spoke about, EMEA, the code, and the Section 96. Both were against president of the country. Both were adverse findings against such a president. And incidentally, both relied wrongly on the wrong code to some extent. Yeah. But that's just by the way. But if we forget about the personalities involved and look at those cases, the Nkandla experience where and what your predecessor went through, and your experience with Busasa, CR17, and to some extent Phala Phala, as you mentioned, forget whatever happens to you as an individual. What learnings should the country take from this? Because it's either things are getting worse, and remember that in a way, Ms. Matotsela got away at the right time, 2017, just the year after the Nkandla case that said the powers are binding. And you went in right on the face of the storm and had your 7 years in that era. And come the end of this year, we'll have a new public protector. And we don't want a trend where that person will be flattened out in a few months, as it were. In other words, we don't want the situation to get worse. We want it to get better. What apart from the quote unquote amendment of EMEA that you've referred to, where there'll be a filter through Parliament, what else can be done to ensure that the powers are tempered or in such a way, or that the public protector is protected? Because it's one of the two. It's either you're going to temper the powers, as Honorable Sokoni was suggesting, or provide more serious protections, or both.
I think for me, again, going back to the issue of saying the Constitution, the way it's crafted and it's providing for this institution, and that this institution should operate independently without fear or favor. And the issue of fear or favor and the independence is affected by a number of things. I mean, how the institution is being funded, it's a challenge how the institution would find that the resources are being they are not provided enough resources to do the work. And this institution, the powers which this institution has, there's nothing wrong with. As long as you have political will, as long as you have people who are in the executive who would understand that they are there to serve, not they are there because they want to, or it's just creating their own kind of fiefdom, or, you know, I'm in this position, I've got this power. But then how do you maximize and use this institution to your benefit? Because I think that's one thing where if you are a minister, and I've said it last time, you have challenges in this part of your department, for instance, health, hospitals, the way they operate, or water and sanitation, or this issue of pit toilets, if you are education. There's nothing wrong you approaching the public protector. And that's what when I was training, or we were going around the provinces, even informing the members of the executive that, you know, the late Gada Asmal did that during, I think it was Mushwana or Bakwa's time, where he approached the public protector and said, public protector, can you investigate the issue of communication in the public service? Communication in the sense that how does the issue of red tapes affect service delivery? And there's that report like that, because that person understood that this institution is so valuable is a constitutional gift to the public. And if you are an executive, you want to serve the public, you would do that. Secondly, you then also have to work with all your NGOs, the ones who are calling themselves to be NGOs looking after the issues of the poor, the marginalized, the human rights violations, service delivery issues, should be partnering with this institution, irrespective of who is then incumbent. Because unfortunately in South Africa, once the media or those who don't want you, those you've investigated and you have findings against, in Chinese, they say a person lose face, meaning because they think you've embarrassed them, but that's not the intention. You are having this responsibility, you issue the report, and as a person, you should learn what must I learn from this particular process. So I think if my successor can be treated with that respect, because unfortunately I feel as if this institution is being its powers is being weakened, and this confusion as well, unfortunately in the constitution, where you'd find section 194, the committee determining the fitness to hold office, then again it goes back to the president, who will have to suspend the very same person, and the very same person is investigating the president. So there's that a challenge and quagmire or issue with that. But then even if it's there and we dealing with the institution, we don't check who's the incumbent and what can we maximize from this institution, then we wouldn't have challenges. But that's why I'm saying possibly my successor will be favored by those who have power or the media, because I think the media plays a very critical role in this instance.